morning, and thank you for joining us for another segment of our Compass Ecosystem podcast. My name is Carolyn Gorst. I am the Director of Development here at Compass Affordable Housing. And I am so excited to be joined by my fabulous co-host who always keeps me on time and on track, Lydia Aranda. Lydia, thank you for being here today.
Happy to be here. It'll be another great episode. I just know it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Our Compass Ecosystem podcast is brought to us by our major Compass sponsor, Tucson Electric Power. Thank you, Tucson Electric Power, for keeping the lights on for all of us here in Pima County and Southern Arizona. Just to remind everyone, the purpose of our Compass Ecosystem podcast is to inform, engage, and to connect the Southern Arizona community in a dialogue about its human development ecosystem. And with us today to help us dive a little deeper into how we are connecting people in the human development ecosystem is our guest, Shawn Over, founder, president, and CEO of Brand Legend. Hi, Shawn.
Hi, Carolyn. Thank you for having me on today. It's good to see you both.
It's
Hi,
great to
Shawn.
it's great to see you, Shawn. So, Shawn, tell us a little bit about Brand Legend, some of the issues you're addressing, your target audience, your services, some of the outcomes. It's a pretty big question, I know, but you guys do a lot of work.
Yes, thank you. Thank you again for having me on. It's a privilege to be here with you both. Brand Legend started about 2.5 years ago at first as a all-in-one marketing organization and quickly developed into focusing on video. And now I'm progressing from video work to do more documentary work, which I'm excited to share more about. I've worked with nonprofits, locally owned businesses, individuals, anyone who really has a story that they want to share to help their mission succeed by building relationship. And so that's what I've been doing for almost 3 years now.
I
Yeah.
love that. I know we are really lucky. Full disclosure, folks, Shawn is the one that makes us all look good on camera. So Brand Legend has been a partner of ours. Shawn, could you go a little deeper into talking about some of the target audience you've been working with and the services that you provide?
Yeah, thank you. So as you know, nonprofits, businesses, they all need mutually beneficial relationships to succeed. Now, that includes the people that they're serving, but also it could be a partner organization. It could be a lot of different things, whether it's a government entity, a nonprofit, a business. And even I've worked with people who have a personal faith testimony to share. They just have a story that they need to communicate in a way that's clear and concise. And that's a big challenge. If you've ever tried writing a story, if you've ever even tried journaling, just getting your thoughts written down on paper, which is in itself a healing experience, that's challenging to do. Mostly that's, I feel, because it's hard for us to get outside of our own head. As you go through life, there's a lot of challenges that you encounter personally and professionally. And trying to resolve all of those issues creates just a lot of noise in our minds. And so trying to get something clear written down on paper, clear enough for our employees or our volunteers to all get behind that same mission, that's hard work. So when I encounter a lot of these locally owned nonprofits and businesses, this is what they're struggling with. How do I get these relationships built over time by telling a compelling story? And that's really my target audience, is anybody living in that space. Now, most people have grappled with that long enough that they at least have a mission statement written down somewhere. But when it comes to recording video, people seize up, and I get it. I don't like being on camera myself in particular. I like the building relationship part. I love networking, and Tucson's a great city for that. But there's something in us, I think, that naturally freezes up because it's in our human nature to be concerned about what other people will think of us. And I'm not criticizing that for a moment. I totally understand. The thing about it is when we can be coached or coaxed out of that fear and just realize, hey, what we have to offer is not going to be for everybody. It's just a reality, and we can just truly be ourselves and communicate to the best of our ability. Hey, this is what I'm concerned about. This is what I'm here to do. The rest over time can become more clear, and by becoming more clear, it also becomes more compelling. There's someone out there in the world that needs to hear what you have to say. And so just getting the practice reps out there, even if it's not out there, maybe you just start with a few friends and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting this business or this nonprofit. Just start iterating and reiterating and reiterating until eventually you start to come to, hey, I think I have a mission statement. I have a vision statement. That will do you worlds of good when you try to do a podcast, get your website up, things like that. So that at the end of the day, you're not caught like, okay, the camera's ready. I don't know what to say. That's not where you want to be. If you get there, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. But don't be so caught up on presentation and outward appearance that you're stifling that creative thought before it has a chance to breathe some oxygen. Let those ideas flow, journal it, record it, somehow let yourself speak unedited long enough that you can get to the heart of what you have to say, then go back, and then later on, edit. And that's how you build a story that builds relationship.
I love
Well,
the
I
way you
love that.
describe that.
It's something that I've had to learn myself because it was one thing as a marketer. I was in marketing for 10 years before I started my own business. And I would preach this all day long until I started my own business and I went, oh my gosh, I don't know how to clarify my own thoughts. And I wrestled with it for a long time until finally, just by putting into practice what I just said, I iterate, reiterate, share with friends, bang my head against the wall. And then finally, some things came together. And I am where I am today, which is about to change. The branding is getting updated. So if you go to my website now versus 6 months from now, there will be some changes. But that's
I,
okay too.
I think that is. And I think that's a great place for us to take a quick break because where you're going next is something I know Lydia is really wanting to dive into with you.
It's important that Tucson Electric Power partner with agencies like Compass Affordable Housing to ensure the members of our community have access to the resources that they need. We understand that we're operating in an affordability crisis, and this is not something that can be solved alone. Together, we can achieve so much more.
And we'd like to thank our segment sponsor for this segment, Zona Training Solutions. Shawn, thank you so much for going through that conversation in our first segment. What I really gleaned from a lot of what you were saying is the commonality of the challenge of finding our own messaging. And it often seems, how you described it, to be tied to the fact that companies, whether they are for-profit, nonprofit, maybe even public agencies, are trying to get their message out about who they serve, what their purpose is, and you really help them along with that, encouraging them to iterate and reiterate, and then after a time go back and edit. So one of the things you also mentioned is in your own journey with brand legends, that if people go to your website now, they will see something very different than what they would have seen some months ago. That's pretty exciting. And I wonder if you might share with our viewers and listeners how your agency then, how Brand Legends is maybe in your current phase looking to solve specific issues in Southern Arizona, maybe tackling some specific challenges.
Yeah, thank you. And you hit the nail on the head. That's a really good summary. I want to start with just a quick story about what sparked my business. I had a business that existed on paper essentially only for a time. And that was because I had a part-time job and I was trying to establish Brand Legend. And I had a couple of projects here and there for Brand Legend, but not much going on. And I really felt that, and this is a part where I have to share my faith to explain that
Sure.
as a believer and follower of Jesus, I was praying to him, give me clarity, because right now, to get the business where it needs to be, I need it to be full-time dedicated work. And right now it's part-time. But I also see wisdom in having some secure income while I'm developing a business. So I said, God, I need you to make a big neon blinking sign that I cannot ignore or miss. Make this stupid proof, God. I'm going on a way to a business meeting right now. I need to know today, do I go after Brand Legend and make it a full-time thing or not? That business meeting was them informing me that I was getting laid off. So I went, there's my sign. An hour later, I had clarity. And I share that for a couple
Wow.
reasons. One is it's a journey. Building your brand is a journey. It's going to change a little bit over time, and that's okay. The other is don't give up. If God's put something on your heart, keep after it, because he put it there and it's worth it. So um, that's something that, honestly, I want to say it's okay to struggle. So much of what I do and how it's morphed into documentary work is I do what's called run and gun. Most 98% of the time, my clients will have a pretty good idea of the big picture that they want to communicate. Hey, we have this event coming up. It connects with our mission in this way. We want you to be there, capture some interviews, throw together a 3-minute video, go. It's not like have these scripted questions, be there to capture these specific moments. 98% of the time, it's run and gun.
Mm-hmm.
But I listen hard. I try to really soak in what they have to say. And in editing, I just replay and replay and replay and replay until, okay, I got the story. And then I put it together. And there's maybe another draft or two before it's fully dialed in. But the point I'm trying to communicate is the story already exists. You don't have to try and create it. You're just curating it. And by curating again and again and again, it does become more clear. So that's why marketers, I feel, are needed, because we have an outside perspective. And if you as the client, whether business, nonprofit, or whatever, are just freed up enough from your own doubt or fear to just think out loud with us, the story will come to life. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, I think you did, because what I'm hearing, if I was going to paraphrase that and say it back to you, what I'm hearing is everyone's got an idea of what their purpose is and what their desire to accomplish is. And what Brand Legends, you and Brand Legends do is help create that legacy, if you will. You help build the legend by paying attention to what percolates up, because you're encouraging people and organizations to curate, not create, because they're already in the middle of it. That's that. So you help break that barrier, it sounds like, in the storytelling, in the value proposition, in the
Yes.
encouragement for others to engage. You spoke about relationships, they're very important. So it sounds like you help people get there in their
Yes.
relationships.
Yes. I mean, that's what I hope to do. And it's amazing what a little word of encouragement will do. And this is like the most ironic thing in the world. Some of the best spoken people are the introverts, the people that do not want to be on camera. They'd rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy. Like, they hate it, but they're so well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm extroverted, so I don't know if I'm self-critiquing right now, but it's amazing if you just serve up a question, not asking, like, if I were to be interviewing you right now, Lydia or Carolyn, I don't say, tell me about yourself. I say, tell me about what you care about. Immediately, I'm trying to help you shift from, oh, it's about me, and that tends to raise that anxiety. But I know what you care about. If we've talked at all, I know what you care about. So tell me why. What do you care about? How do you do that? How do you address that? Who's involved? What are some of the challenges? And then if I have an opportunity to provide a little feedback with a word of encouragement, oh my gosh, the fear goes from here to here. Just a few words of encouragement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gosh, that's great. Carolyn, I know that you you have more to expand on there.
Well, Shawn, you really kind of laid the groundwork for this next question, which is you and Lydia both did. I'd love for you to take this time to really share with our audience where you're growing, to how you are furthering your impact in the Southern Arizona human development ecosystem, as well as beyond Southern Arizona, I understand, with
Yes,
storytelling specifically.
yes, yeah. Brand Legends going international. That's just crazy to think about. So several years ago at my church, some of the pastors and elders announced that one of the missionary couples that the church has been supporting, Christ Community Church, for 50 years, they completed a Bible translation into a language called Ticuna, which is an indigenous people living along the Amazon, specifically in this case, the northern side of Peru in a place called Lake Cushiacocha. So they finished this translation for the Ticuna, and they had the Ticunas and the Andersons, the missionary couple that had gone to live among them, they had a life-changing experience. And so there's just so much to share with that. But fast forward to 2025, I was talking with the pastor and I said, has anybody done a documentary about the Andersons? And the church had been supporting them for 50 years. But the Andersons have been active missionaries for 73 years. 3 weeks ago, they celebrated their 75th wedding anniversary, which is just, there's so many things that's remarkable about this story. And by the way, anybody listening to this, there's things remarkable about your story too that are worth sharing. And that's kind of the point. If you were to meet Lambert and Doris, you would think postcard grandparents, very sweet, and have no idea they risked their lives at one point to bring the Bible to the Ticuna, and how the Ticuna received that and were transformed by it. So I asked the pastor, has there been a documentary done about this? And he said yes and no. There's been a 10-minute sort of recap video, which was great, but not a documentary that was more longer form. And so I asked if I could do it, and they said yes. And I started fundraising 8 months ago, and I'm halfway funded. It's enough to start production. I plan to travel to Peru in January.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing, right?
I mean, I'm blown away. It's like when I say it out loud, I'm pinching myself.
Pinch. Well, and I think that is such a perfect encapsulation of what we were talking about with the life-changing moments that storytelling reflects and how it is part of the larger human ecosystem. And sharing our stories enables others to see themselves in our stories.
Mhm.
And whether it's a organization or missionaries or a business that is working to change or solve or resolve a challenge or a problem, when you can see yourself in the story, you can see yourself being part of the solution.
Yes, yes. And I would add to that I mean, I've worked, I think I've mentioned, with all sorts of different people. And even something as simple as um, Young Donuts. They're just down the street from me. Rise and Shine Donuts. I've
Rise
known
and
them for
shine
several.
donuts more.
Yes, yes. They're some of my favorite people. They really do provide a wonderful experience. And it's that experience that you want to capture. It's one thing to say, these are amazing donuts. They are. But when you go there and experience it, that's what keeps you coming back. And that's true of Compass Affordable. It's true of your show, Lydia. It's an amazing experience. And that's why you want to share the story, because you give people hope. I will have this experience if I purchase this product or service from this company, or I get this help from this nonprofit. I can see myself receiving that help. That's why you want to convey the story. That's what's moving the mission forward.
So well said. Uh,
Absolutely.
we're going to take a quick break here to hear from our friends over at Tucson Osteopathic Medical Foundation. And when we come back, I know there's a couple more things we want to go over with you before we let you go.
Annually, we give to local organizations who are running programs and making great strides in what we call the social determinants of health. It's incredible the work that they're doing, and we're just really proud to be a part of it.
And we're back for this next segment, and we want to give thanks to our segment sponsor, Pima County Outside Agency Short-Term Crisis Emergency Response Grant. Shawn, I really enjoyed that conversation and the examples that you gave about connecting with storytelling, helping people or organizations feel more comfortable in their descriptions and iterations about the amazing work that they do, and how all of that really plays a strong role in building up a human development ecosystem like we've been talking about all along. I wonder if you would please share with our audience how they could get in touch with you, with Brand Legends, to either partake in your services, learn more about your projects, maybe even find out about the documentary.
Yes, thank you. So you can go to my website at brand-legend. It's singular, by the way, just legend.com. And that's brand-legend.com. If you miss the hyphen, you'll find someone else. So that's my website. You can email me at Shawn@brand-legend.com, and it's SHAWN.
Fabulous. I'm sure that you will be getting lots of inquiries, hopefully for work as well as for supporting your documentary. And what an amazing story about the Andersons. That's just a great backdrop also of creating safe places for human development.
Yeah, it's you know what, it still amazes me how amazing each story truly is. And a lot of people reach out and I don't say a lot, but several people have reached out and say, I want to start this business, I have this project, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll ask a few questions and they may realize, you know what, I hadn't thought of these things and I'm just not ready. And that's totally fine. At least I've helped identify the next steps that need to be taken. And often, as entrepreneurs, as we all know, often we'll find out, I didn't even know what questions to ask. Well, now I do. I'm off to a great start. So again, there's no pressure or expectation. It's just, it starts with a conversation. Who are you? Who are you trying to help? What can I do to help you on that mission?
What a great way to start any conversation. How can we help each other? Speaks to ecosystem. I think you'd agree, Carolyn.
Very deeply so. And Shawn, before we let you go, I do want you to help us put some information around the upcoming documentary. How can people get involved with that? I know you mentioned that you have started a GoFundMe page. Uh, is there a way that we can stay in touch with you to learn what's going on with that? What about other people that believe they have a story to tell that they'd like to talk to you?
Yeah, thank you. So if you go to my website, brand-legend.com, you'll see a link there called TicunaLand. That's the name of the documentary. You can learn more details. You can you can give a donation. So the funds go to a nonprofit, so it's a tax-deductible donation. They're paying me for the documentary, but your donation would be tax deductible. And you can learn more details about that as well. And if you're a business, a nonprofit, or even you have a personal testimonial to share, whatever the story might be, you can reach out to me via email, Shawn@brand-legend.com. It could be as simple as, I have a story to share. Let's meet up for donuts and coffee and we'll talk. And we could just think out loud together. And I will take it from there. Hey, here's how I think I could help. Here's a few clarifying questions, and we'll just build from there.
I love it. Of course, if you want to see Shawn's work in action, you can always visit us at www.compassaffordablehousing.org. Watching our podcast, just a point of transparency, he is our editor for this fabulous podcast. So thank you, Shawn, for being our guest today. Thank you for your work to tell Compass's story. And we look forward to seeing TicunaLand when it's ready to present. Please come back when it's ready so we can make a grand announcement about it.
I'm excited to do that. And thank you both very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for all you do, Shawn. It really makes a difference.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you all tuning in to another episode, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you always. Have a great week.